I asked 50 mechanics the same question. Which used cars would you never buy, even if someone offered you a great deal? The answers shocked me.
These aren't just unreliable cars, these are financial black holes that will drain your bank account faster than you can say, check engine light.
What's up everyone? Welcome back to Gearhead Garage. Today, I'm exposing 5 used cars that mechanics absolutely refuse to buy. No matter how cheap they are, these are the vehicles that show up in repair shops constantly, with repair bills that exceed the car's value.
I'm going to show you exactly why mechanics avoid these cars, what the most expensive problems are, and what you should buy instead. This could save you $10,000 or more in avoided repairs. Mechanics see these disasters every single day, and now you're about to see what they see.
Hit subscribe because this is the insider knowledge dealers don't want you to have. Let's go. Number 5 on our list is the Jeep Renegade from 2015 to 2023.
And mechanics hate this thing with a passion.
Let me tell you why. The Renegade is built on a Fiat 500 platform. Let that sink in. Jeep took a cheap, unreliable Italian subcompact car platform and stretched it into a small SUV. The result? A disaster. According to certified mechanic RepairPal, Jeep Renegades are overall very unreliable. They have expensive maintenance costs, poor fuel mileage, a weak engine, and it's based on a Fiat 500 platform. RepairPal gives it a reliability rating of just 3.5 out of 5. That's below average. The problems: transmission failures. The 9-speed automatic transmission is a nightmare. It shifts roughly, hesitates, and often fails completely. Replacement?
$3,500 to $5,500.
Engine issues. The 1.4-liter turbo engine has chronic oil consumption problems and turbo failures.
Owners report needing oil top-ups every 1,000 miles.
Turbo replacement costs $1,800 to $2,500.
Electrical gremlins, random warning lights, infotainment system crashes, sensors failing constantly. These aren't cheap fixes. Diagnostic costs alone can run $150 to $300 per issue. Early component failures, suspension bushings, control arms, and ball joints wear out prematurely. You're looking at $800 to $1,500 for front suspension work before 60,000 miles. Terrible fuel economy for a small SUV. The Renegade gets shockingly bad gas mileage, around 21-24 mpg combined.
Compare that to a Honda HR-V at 28-30 mpg.
Depreciation disaster. Edmunds gave the 2023 Renegade a value rating of just 6 out of 10.
These depreciate 35-55 in the first 5 years because nobody wants them used. What to buy instead? Honda HR-V, Mazda CX-30, or Subaru Crosstrek. All are more reliable, get better gas mileage, and hold their value better. Number 4 is the Nissan Rogue with a CVT transmission, specifically 2014 to 2020 models.
If there's one car that makes mechanics groan when it rolls into their shop, it's a Nissan with a CVT. Nissan's continuously variable transmission is legendary for all the wrong reasons. These transmissions fail at rates so high that there have been multiple class action lawsuits, and Nissan had to extend warranties because the failure rate was unacceptable.
The CVT disaster. The CVT overheats because the cooling system is inadequate.
Once it overheats, the fluid breaks down and the transmission destroys itself. Symptoms include shuddering and jerking, loss of power, and noise-complete failure. Failure can happen as early as 50,000 to 70,000 miles.
And here's the killer. CVT replacement costs $3,000 to $4,500.
That's more than the car is worth at that mileage. Consumer reports and owner surveys show failure rates approaching 6% during the warranty period.
That's insane.
For context, a well-engineered transmission should have a failure rate under 1%. Nissan extended the CVT warranty to 10 years 120 or 0 miles on some models because the problem was so widespread. But if you buy one used and you're outside that window,
you're screwed.
Owners report needing multiple CVT replacements on the same vehicle, even after Nissan replaces it under warranty. The new CVT often fails again because the fundamental design is flawed.
What to buy instead? Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, or Mazda CX-5.
All have traditional automatics or proven hybrid systems without CVT issues. Number 3 is controversial, but mechanics are unanimous. Tesla Model S and Model X over 8 years old. This one surprises people, but here's why mechanics won't touch them.
According to mechanic Chris Pyle, a Tesla and other EVs beyond 8 years old are some of the worst used cars you can buy in 2026.
It is kind of like buying used tires. You pay a fee for the tires and to get them mounted and balanced, or to find out you are on borrowed time.
The battery problem. After 8 years, the battery pack has degraded significantly. You are losing 15 minus 25 of original range.
A Model S that had 300 miles of range new might only get 2 to 0 to 40 miles now.
And it's getting worse every year.
The repair infrastructure problem. Most independent mechanics can't work on Teslas.
The proprietary systems, lack of repair manuals, and Tesla's refusal to sell parts to third parties means you are stuck going to Tesla's service centers.
And there aren't enough of them. Repair costs are astronomical. A simple door handle replacement, $1,000. Touchscreen failure,
$2,500.
control arm, $800.
These are parts that cost €4 on a normal car.
2012 to 2018 Model S and Model X have a known issue with the media control unit MCU failing.
The screen goes black. You lose all controls, and Tesla charges €2,003 to replace it. This affects thousands of vehicles.
Other common issues. Fork and wing doors on Model X fail constantly. €3 plus to fix air suspension failures too. €5 per corner motor and drive unit replacements. €12 battery failures. Yes, EVs have them to $500.
What to buy instead? If you want a used EV, buy a new or 135 years old Max, or stick with a proven hybrid like the Toyota Prius or REV for hybrid. Number 2 is the Chevy Equinox from 2010 to 2017. This SUV is so notorious among mechanics that multiple repair shop owners mentioned it unprompted when asked about problem vehicles. Quote from mechanic Scott, "We have them in here almost seems like every day, with the engines going bad. Leaking, that's not an exaggeration.
These things are in shops constantly. The engine disasters. The 2.4 liters 4-cylinder engine has catastrophic timing chain issues.
The chain stretches, jumps teeth, and destroys the engine."
Symptoms include rattling noise on cold start, check engine light with timing codes, complete engine failure.
Timing chain replacement costs $1,500 to $2,500.
But if the chain has already jumped and damaged valves,
You're looking at $4,000 to $6,000 for a complete engine rebuild or replacement.
oil consumption problems. These engines burn oil like crazy. Owners report needing to add a quart of oil every 1,000 to 2,000 miles. If you don't check constantly, the engine runs low on oil and destroys itself.
Cooling system failures. Water pumps fail prematurely around 60,000 miles. Thermostats stick. The entire cooling system is poorly designed.
Water pump replacement, $600 to $900.
Transmission problems. The 6-speed automatic transmission has valve body issues that cause harsh shifting and slipping. Transmission rebuild costs $2,500 to $3,500.
Electrical issues, power steering failures, instrument cluster malfunctions, and sensor failures are common. These Equinoxes nickel and dime you to death with constant 3080 repairs.
What to buy instead? Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, or Mazda CX-5 from the same years. All are far more reliable. According to Zach Shefskar, president and CEO of Carriage, Toyota's hydrogen-powered ambitions have never taken flight, with the Mirai being the poster child. Years after the launch of the Mirai, there are just 50 for hydrogen fuel stations operating in the United States. 50 for stations in the entire country, and 53 of them are in California.
If you don't live in California, this car is literally unusable.
The fuel cost nightmare. Filling a Mirai costs approximately $80 to $100 for about 300 miles of range.
That's 3 to 4 times more expensive than filling a gas car with the same range. Electric charging, maybe $15 for the same distance. Depreciation catastrophe. Mirai depreciate faster than any car on the market. A 2020 Mirai that cost $50,000 new is worth maybe $15,000 to $20,000 now. That's 60 minus 70 depreciation in 3 years.
Nobody wants them. You can't sell a Mirai, even at steep discounts. Buyers run away because they know about the infrastructure problem.
Mechanics won't buy them because they're essentially paperweights outside of California.
Even cheap isn't cheap enough. You might find a Mirai for $12,000 to $18,000.
Sounds like a deal, right?
It's not. You're buying a car you can only refuel in California, assuming you live there, and you'll pay $1,000 to $100 plus per month in fuel costs if you drive 1,000 miles per month. What to buy instead? Toyota Prius EV for hybrid, or even a used Chevy Bolt EV.
All are more practical, cheaper to run, and won't strand you 100 miles from the nearest fuel source. Quick honorable mentions of other cars mechanics avoid.
Jeep Grand Cherokee 2011-2021. Electrical nightmares, transmission issues, expensive repairs.
Nissan Frontier 2010-2020. Transmission and electrical problems.
Volkswagen Jetta any recent year. Electronics and climate control failures.
Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid. Battery and charging issues. Kia or Hyundai with Vita engines. Engine fires and recalls. All of these share one thing in common. They'll cost you more to keep running than they're worth. Alright, let's recap. The 5 used cars mechanics refuse to buy.
Jeep Renegade 2015-2023 Fiat-based disaster.
Nissan Rogue with CVT 201-2020 transmission time bomb.
Tesla Model S or X over 8 years old battery depreciation nightmare.
Chevy Equinox 2010-2017 constant engine failures. Toyota Mirai, any your hydrogen infrastructure doesn't exist. Mechanics see these cars break down every single day. They know which repairs are coming, how much they'll cost, and they refuse to put themselves through that hell. Now you have the same knowledge. If you were considering any of these cars because they seemed like cheap deals, I just saved you thousands, maybe tens of thousands in avoided repair costs.
You're welcome.
Share this video with anyone shopping for a used car. Hit that like button if this saved you from a financial disaster. Subscribe for more honest car buying advice from the mechanic's perspective. Drop a comment, have you owned any of these nightmares?
Tell me your horror story. I'll see you in the next one.